got you on my mind. Why I got you on my mind. Why I got you on my mind.
Hi everyone, welcome to my very first YouTube video. Yay! So basically what's happening is that I'm going to be moving mental matters from my IGTV platform on my Instagram to my YouTube channel. So I'll just continue with the next episode here. So if you don't know me, my name is Umihlali Ozwa, and if you want to check out the videos before this one, you can head over to my Instagram, and my handle is Mihlali Ozwa. So yes, I think I'm just gonna just dive straight into this video without wasting any time. And this video is really about I want to be a better friend. So this is just lessons on friendship and just, you know, being a better friend and how we can do it. So sorry, my nose is itchy. So the first thing that I really think is really important in terms of friendships is that you need to determine if you're a person who values friendships or who doesn't value friendships. I think for the large part of it, like a lot of us do value our friendships a lot. I know personally I value my friends. My friends do serve as a support system to me, especially those that are my close friends that are here, like some like your immediate friends, immediate family, and then you have like extended family. So you have your close friends and then you have your extended friends. So I think I'm largely speaking about my support system, so my friends that are really close to me. So you will obviously have to then be able to differentiate stuff like that. So you will have friends that you will expect to speak to on a regular basis, whether that is every week or every second week or at least every month, or maybe you guys speak quarterly or you speak every so often. It doesn't matter. Like your speaking could fluctuate. You know which kinds of friends you're okay with having that kind of relationship with, and which kinds of friends you would want a bit more in terms of effort from their part and your part in that kind of friendship. So definitely that is taken into consideration in this discussion, that obviously not all of your friends are going to be put into the same bracket, and we aren't going to have the same expectations for all our friends. So I think the first and most important thing that we need to do is we need to sit down and we need to, as an individual, so me as Umihlali Kozwa needs to sit down and needs to determine, what do I want from a friendship? What are my values and what are my needs in terms of friends? I think that you need to define that for yourself first. So whatever or however it may look like. So let's say when we're going into needs, maybe I need from this particular friend that I have in mind, I need to speak to them on a regular basis. They need to check up on me, I need to check up on them. It needs to be a two-way street. I need to initiate calls, they need to initiate calls. Like, it can't be a one-sided relationship. I think reciprocation is something that everyone yearns for in any kind of relationship, and I think that it's important, as well as communication being equally important. So you will define your needs that you expect from your friends, right? And the values that you have in terms of, you know, your friends, what kind of a friend that you want, you describe them. So just like you're able to describe a potential partner that you want, that I want a kind man, I want a tall man, I want a caring man, I want a man who, you know, has family values or whatever the case is. I think the same thing can apply to friendships as well. You can want a kind, you can want a caring friend, you can want someone who's fun, etc., etc., whatever the case may be. I do know definitely that we do have different friends for different reasons, or different friends for different seasons. So you might most likely be very close with your friends that you are living in the same city with, going to the same school with, or you know, living in the same city with if you guys are working and you guys are already in corporate. And in comparison to how often you would be talking to and expectations you would have on a friend who is in Joburg or Durban or even East London, etc. And you know, like, with that being said, that is taken into consideration. So you just need to first of all just define the needs that you have for your friends. And I think it's just easier to define the needs that you have for your close friends, etc., whether they're far or close. You know how to determine that. And once you've identified the kind of friend that you want, you also need to identify the kind of friend that you want to be, right? and then you just have an idea of the kind of friend that you want to be and the capacity that you have at that point in time. And then I think that what's really important is once you've done that is you need to sit down with your friend or your friends, and you guys need to express each other's needs to each other or your values to each other. So you, whether this, and I think that you can do this whether it's been your friend of 10 years or your friend of 10 months or your friend of 10 days, when you know, okay, fine, you know, we're kicking it and we fuss, because what really happens is that we usually start kicking it with someone and then we just go, but we don't really sit down with friends and we, you know, we determine, well, okay, what are my boundaries, what are my expectations, what are my needs, what are my love languages. We don't sit down and have those conversations with our friends, you know. And I think that just like you would have it with a partner that you've just met, or that you're going to try out something with, you would sit down and you would have that conversation. I think it's equally important for us to sit down and to have that conversation with our friends so that we can give them the benefit of the doubt. So because sometimes they say you're going through something and maybe you're a person who wants a support system and you want a friend in need. You believe that a friend in need is a friend indeed. So that is one of your biggest values of a friend. But if you imagine now your friend is not there for you because when they misread you and they think that you need your space when you're going through something, that time when you need them to be there. So it's important for you to sit down and talk to them. Also, another thing is that sometimes we might need people to be there for us in our time of need, but they might not have the capacity to be there for us because they might be going through their own stuff. So we also need to take that into consideration, which is why it's important for us to always have an open line of communication with our friends so that you can be like, friend, I need you to be my friend in need, but if you can't, then just communicate that with me. So your friend can be like, look, friend, I know that you're going through the most and you aren't good, but I would just like to say that I love you and I'm there for you, but I just don't have the capacity at this point in my life to be there for you. Like, I'm going through so much, I just don't have the capacity to be present. And when a friend communicates that with us, we can't hold it against them. We need to accept that. We need to accept that, you know, our friends aren't our therapists. And sometimes what we have, our baggage might be too much for someone to deal with. Not that they don't love you, they do, but it's just too much for them to handle on top of their own stuff, you know. And I think that that's okay. What's just really important is for us to just communicate that, because if you had a partner, most likely you would communicate that with them, you know. So with your friend, I think it's equally important, you know, that you do the same thing. Just have that open line of communication. So you guys sit down and you guys have this chat, so that you guys don't only just have this chat when it's in a conflicting situation and you guys are not on good terms, but it's important for you guys to just have this from the get-go so that your friends know about, okay, when something does happen, they know what to communicate. They're going to communicate that they're going to be there for you, or friend, I know that you want me to be there for you, but I can't be there for you. So it's really important for you guys to just have that open line of communication and to just be honest with each other and to just be frank with each other about where you guys are in each other's lives, and if you guys can give the other person what they need and vice versa. And then I think another thing that is really important to do in terms of friendships is for you to sit down and introspect on the kind of friend that you are. Because I think for the most part, we always are sitting down and we're thinking about, I feel like Uzban doesn't really speak to me anymore, they're probably not my friend, or whatever. Like, we always are looking at how other people are wronging us, or they're absent in our lives, or whatever grievance that we may have. But sometimes you also then need to take a step back and you need to do some introspection, and you need to be like, okay, in terms of, let's say, these friends, what kind of a friend have I been to them? Do I maybe need to send an apology to them, or have I been absent in their lives? Maybe they're going through something and I'm just not there. Then maybe you are the one that needs to send them a message. Even, let's say, as you, in this present moment, you really can't be there for them still, or you can't really communicate with them as often as you would like, or they would expect you to, whatever the case is. Then I think what's really important is for you to communicate that. Just send them a short message. Hi friend, I hope you are well. I wanted to let you know that I'm thinking about you and that I love you and I care for you. I know that I have been very much absent. I've been very much quiet. I am going through something and I'm just not in a space here to talk about it. Maybe we'll just be able to speak about it at another stage in our lives, but I want you to know that I'm Ndugulahlanga. You know, I haven't abandoned you. You're still someone that is really important in my life. You just send that so that, you know, there's just clarity. They don't think you're mad at them or whatever the case is. And obviously then bearing in mind also that maybe if our friends are a bit like, you know, absent in our lives, they're not really there, that we just sometimes just do give them the space and the benefit of the doubt. But obviously it really is, I think it's really important that we just do communicate, and we don't normalize, you know, this whole thing of ghosting or being quiet or going through something and just, you know, being quiet and just not wanting to speak. As much as it's, yes, you don't want to speak, just communicate that I don't want to speak, you know, instead of just, you know, being quiet and expecting everyone to be quiet. Because once again, like I said in my previous video, we have different love languages and we might interpret things, and you don't want to leave things to assumption. Rather just communicate and just have open line of communication so that everything is clear and there is no gray area. Because just like you wouldn't want to be in a gray area in terms of a relationship, people equally don't want to be in gray areas in terms of friendships if you are a person who is traditionally. And I think it's really important for us to also even have this form of communication with our friends, because sometimes you might find that someone is holding you here and you're holding them there, or they are holding you here and you're holding them there. And once you guys have an idea where the other person is in terms of their needs of you, their needs of them, then you guys know where to place each other, and it's sort of gonna like be a common area of, okay, this is where I place you. Because that whole thing of one being here, the other one being there, is what really does cause the communication. Because this one obviously is gonna want more, and this one is obviously gonna do less, and then there's gonna be conflict in the friendship. But if you guys had that conversation and you understood, and there was a meeting of the minds as to where you guys both are, you guys wouldn't have that conflict. As much as maybe it's not nice for the one who wanted to give more to hear where the other one is at least you know and you heard it in good standing, and it's not like a conflicting or a conflict type of situation that this whole discrepancy in needs and expectations of in your guys' friendship, you know, will have caused. So I think that that's just really important from my side. So I really think that those are just a few lessons that I really find are really important in friendships that we really tend to neglect, that we should really, you know, put at the pinnacle of our friendships, that we communicate, that we reciprocate, that we understand where we are, that we communicate with each other where we are, we communicate our expectations in order for us to be better friends to others and for others to be better friends to us. Because just like we strive to have better relationships in other spheres in our lives, we should strive to be better friends at all times as well, with the friends that we dearly like, that we genuinely and dearly care about. And sometimes it's not easy. It is a difficult conversation to have, especially if you're the one who's been a bad friend or they've been a bad friend. The other one won't really want to speak because it's just really awkward that you have to really take accountability and be honest. But sometimes growth comes from being in a space where it's uncomfortable. When you guys allow yourselves to be uncomfortable and to be vulnerable with each other, that is where immense growth will take place. And I think that that is something that we really need to start valuing and we really need to start thinking about. And I really think that those are the kind of friends that we really need to start striving to be, you know, to be better friends and to be good to everyone and to love them according to their needs and to their love languages. And if we can't do that, we communicate that. So that is, you know, it from my side in terms of friendships. I really think that for me, friends are really important. Friendship is something that I hold dear to my heart. My friends have been there for me in my most deepest and most trying times. I've been there for some of my friends also during the most deepest and trying times. And there are some friends that I have neglected that I too have to, you know, go back and just send them a message of apology because I haven't been the most present friend. But at the same time, I also don't know their values and expectations of me. And I need to sit down and I need to have that chat. And I think that whether you guys have been friends for 10 years, friends for 10 months, friends for 10 days, this is a chat that you guys definitely need to have so that you guys can just have, you know, a level playing field and that you guys can just, you know, give each other what you guys need. And without anything more, I think that is all from my side. May you please like, comment, and most importantly, please subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you for tuning in. I love you lots. Mwah, mwah, mwah.